Welcome everyone to the Daily Grind podcast. I'm your host, Lyndon Thibault. Joining me today are my lovely guests, Desiree Boone and Josh Lesko. Nice to have you both today. Nice to see you guys. How you guys doing this morning?
Doing all right. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, doing okay on a Monday morning.
It's
afternoon
Monday.
now.
Actually, it's 1 o'clock for me. I know you're over an hour behind. I know Josh is up north. So thanks for meeting me on a Monday. So this is going to be a new podcast, kicking off our first one of the year. This is going to be a fun one for, I think, everyone today. So the purpose is really to be a open forum. I have a couple questions. They're going to be of certain scenarios that you might or may not have seen before in your work as a professional. So my goal is to shoot these off to you, Desiree and Josh. I'll kind of go back and forth and give me your honest take on how you would respond to these questions. So without further ado, I'm going to give you question number 1, Desiree. I'm going to go to Josh first. So Josh, question number 1 for you. You're presenting on a Zoom call to the entire company and sharing your screen. Suddenly, a Slack message pops open from your work basket that says, "This meeting is so boring. I am literally online shopping for cheese." The CEO is on the call. What is your immediate survival strategy?
Absolutely. And it's an interesting but pretty relevant question there, Lyndon. In a scenario like that, that's a very, very large bullet to dodge because of the visibility. I think the best way to do that is to address it head on with maybe a slight bit of humor involved. I think you take the opportunity knowing that you got the C-level and the entire company's or most of the company's eyes on it, and just step back and say, look, hey, I think this is a great opportunity for us to set up a follow-up meeting in which we discuss best practices for using internal communications, and we might want to sprinkle a little bit of HR in there for some etiquette. Address it head on, a little bit of levity, and I think you move on.
Now that is accountable if I've ever heard one myself. So yeah, Josh, I think take the moment. You could run from it, but I think for you, I think it's a fun story that you can reflect on, as you go out through your career. So thank you for the answer. Desiree, the next one's for you. You're walking down the hallway. The VP of the company is walking towards you. They look right at you, smile and wave. You give a massive enthusiastic wave back, and then you realize they were waving at the person directly behind you. Your hand is already in the air. How do you recover?
Oh, Lyndon, I'd be super awkward about it, but I think I would, what's the corporate phrase, lean in and probably just talk to the VP. Hopefully I know the VP's name. Say, how's it going today? It's really nice to see you. And maybe play it off a little bit that I thought they were as excited to see me as I was to see them. And I think from there, you just kind of probably go in the bathroom, put some water on my face and try and recover a little bit of pride for the rest of the day. But I'm pretty sure I would make it awkward and really commit.
I did that once in high school to a girl I liked, and did not work out. I did not recover. Let's say we're no longer friends. But yeah, I like the effort as far as what you would do, not what I did. All right, let's kick off another question for you, Josh. You're meant to text your partner, "Can you please pick up the toilet paper on your way home?" Instead, you accidentally send it to the general-wide company Slack thread with 500 people. People are already starting to interact with emojis. What is your immediate survival strategy?
Immediate may not fit the bill here because I want to give everybody the opportunity to weigh in with their best emojis and comments on this. So sit back, let them collect 5-10 minutes, and a simple response. Make sure you get that 2-ply and make sure it's septic safe.
So that's 2 out of 2, Josh owning it. And honestly, if I saw you double down on that, I would immediately respect you for probably the rest of my days there. So I do think, leaning in this moment would make a lot of sense as well.
And I will say, I'm going to soften the answer because it is my wife. So please get the 2-ply. And
you got it.
Make sure that it's septic safe.
You're in the sales role now. You can afford the 2-ply. None of that single we used to get back in the day. All right, Desiree, last question for you. You're completely zoned out in a virtual meeting, staring at your own video feed and thinking about what to have for lunch. Suddenly, the boss says, "So, Desiree, what's your strategic take on this?" You have absolutely no idea what the topic is. What is your go-to bluff to survive this moment?
Oh man, why does this one feel so real when I'm on back-to-back meetings and trying to get everything done in a day? I think this would cause me some serious anxiety. I may start with being honest and asking for them to please repeat the question so that I can ensure I'm giving it the appropriate response and dedication to evaluating how I would feel about this certain scenario. That's probably the politically correct version of what I should do, but there's a possibility that I may just be so overwhelmed that I say something of, "Do you mind rephrasing that question?" Even if it was super simple, and then I open myself up to really look like a fool if it was like, "How was your weekend?"
Well, if it makes you feel better, I just felt the same way right now. So back to the three of us. So yeah, Desiree, I definitely think that's happened, especially when you're back to backs all day, and it's like, oh, I just want a minute just to zone out, and you can't even get that without someone coming down and asking for questions. So, all right, back to the three of us. I have one more question, and I want each of you to answer it respectfully to bring us home on our first Daily Grind podcast. All right, so the last question. You are on a massive conference call. You think you're on mute. You loudly start singing a Taylor Swift song to your dog. The presenter stops talking, says, whoever's singing, can you please mute? Do you confess, apologize, or do you stay silent and let the mystery haunt the company forever? I'll go to you, Desiree, first.
Oh, I feel like I'm 50-50. If they knew I was singing to my dog, you all know how passionate I am about my two golden retrievers. I think you would believe it. But most of the time when I'm singing to my dog, it's these wonderful songs I've made up about them, and it's not a Taylor Swift song. So I think if I was singing along with a Taylor Swift song, I may just go on mute and wonder who was singing to their dog. I don't know if I would have the guts to admit that it was me. But if I did, I think just sending like puppy pictures or something like that would ease the awkwardness and help people to move forward. So hopefully this is just an internal call if that were to happen.
And now that I'm thinking about it, Josh, what song would you sing if it wasn't Taylor Swift?
I'd probably be not singing, but humming along to some Allman Brothers or maybe a little Pink Floyd.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you both for the candid answers. I know this is awkward, obviously, and typical scenarios you probably don't see, but in any corporate setting, someone's always coming off mute. Someone's always saying something they shouldn't. So why not have some fun with it and ask the real professionals as far as what it's like in the day-to life? But yeah, that is the first and probably last episode of the Daily Grind podcast, Ultimate Survival Guide Questions. I want to appreciate everyone for the time today, and I want you all to check out this nice outro as we leave. Thanks, Josh. Thanks, Desiree, and appreciate the time.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.